Hey everyone, how are we doing this week? I know it is weird to have a video coming up on a Saturday. I'm trying to get this up before any of the games that I predicted tip off. But I'd like to apologize ahead of time for the whole week's absence. I was so proud of myself. Last week I'm like, yeah, we're going Monday through Friday. We're going to do a show every day, and it was great until about halfway through my show on Friday when I started kind of lagging, and you could hear it. And then it turns out that I couldn't talk all weekend. I blew out my vocal cords. So there was no show this week. I tried to do it on Wednesday when I was in Boston. My voice was having none of it, but again, I'm going to hold myself to what I owe for last week's predictions. So I do have $3. I got 3 out of 5 last weekend right. I'm gonna put those in our little boot for charity. And I'm going to spin the wheel for Providence beating Villanova, and then Michigan State beating Maryland on Maryland's home floor. And then I'm going to do an additional one because I didn't record, even though it wasn't purely me just being a lazy ass. It was me not being able to communicate at all. But I want to get this up before some of these later bubble games. Indiana already had one where they took a loss against Wisconsin. I mean, the bubble's constantly moving right now. It's the last weekend of regular season basketball. I'm excited because we've got conference tournaments, and all my picks for this upcoming, for today and tomorrow's games, are all conference championship games. Except for one where there's those aren't exactly locked in. I'm not going to make extra spins a thing on that one. We're just going to do it for one conference tournament champion. But that conference is in the semifinals this week. Today, and their finals are tomorrow. So that's where we're going to go with that one. And then, as I said, we're going to do an extra spin for missing the show. But first off, I want to make a little bit of an announcement, and I do like doing the money for charity, and we're going to go a little bit bigger and a little bit more painful for the conference tournament challenge. So when the bracket comes out, there will be a video of me filling it out. Now, I have also just bought the hottest hot sauce that you can get off of the Hot Ones website. It's the Last Dab Triple X. And we're going to take that wheel, we're going to refresh it. Half those spots are going to be charity spots. The other half are going to be Last Dab spots. And we're going to take just the first 2 rounds. Just the first 2 rounds next week. And we're going to make picks on them. And then we'll do the same thing the next week for Sweet 16 and Final Four. Sweet 16 to Elite Eight. And we'll see where it goes from there. Hopefully we will raise a lot of money for charity, and I won't have to be in considerable amounts of pain. Because I have the Bomb Beyond Insanity. This one apparently sucks worse. So that's my big announcement. We're going to be doing a big NCAA challenge charity event, and that's how we're going to do that. But let's get into the spins from last week. So the first one I need to do is for Providence and Villanova. Now, I thought Villanova was going to serve. Providence needed this win to get in, and I thought they were going to play well. I didn't think they were going to get the win. As it turns out, I'm wrong. Let's go see what we have to do. All right. what do we got? Lucky Dog. Cool. I like this one. All right. Come to me, Lucky Dog. All right. Now we're just going to give it a nice little shake to get it well mixed. All right. And piece of chicken. That came out a little stronger than I expected it to. All right. All right, Providence, this one's on Villanova, this one's on you. You let me down last week. I went a little heavy on that one, and I'm instantly regretting that. Ooh. Either that or I just have lost some spice handling over the week. All right. Let's go do our spin for Michigan and State and Maryland. All right, coming around. All right, we almost made an extra $5 for the charity. It is actually the hottest hottest college in America, hot sauce, featuring our lovely Cincinnati Bearcats, who have a very much must-win game tonight against the Temple Owls. It is senior night. They need this win really bad. Right now, they are being listed, I think, as one of the first four out. A win today could vault them over Indiana, especially with Indiana's loss, and also it depends on on a couple of other things. So, good luck to Cincinnati tonight. They really, really need it. I think they're going to win, though. All right. The hottest college sauce in America, which had better be the hottest college basketball team tonight in America. Go Cincinnati. Maryland, you had to hold home court. And in fact, today's Indiana-Wisconsin game, that gives Wisconsin a potential share of the Big Ten title regular season. What were you doing? They also had that big upset loss against Rutgers this week that should lock Rutgers in. So, what do I know? All right. And one more spin. This one is because of me missing all my recording last week. Again, not really much I could do with my voice being essentially gone for most of the week. However, I still feel like I need to. I still feel like I need to own up to it. So I'm going to start doing like warm-ups like singers do before concerts and stuff like that. See if I can keep my voice going longer. What do we got? Dude, seriously. I still get to spin Dave's Temporary Insanity. That's one that I'm waiting to try. But, we do what we can. This one is probably going to come out nice and thick. Oh yeah, that's a pretty thick little bit of hot sauce. Like, again, this is really gonna come out. Ooh, that is a lot. Come on. I want like enough, but not so much. I think that'll work. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big dollop, but we will do what we can with it. So let's see here. Dave's dude, seriously hot. I suppose I deserve this. I mean, hey, maybe it'll keep things clearer for me. You never know. All right, let's put this down the hatch and get into our predictions for this weekend. Oh, so liberal. Oh dear. I'm in a little bit of pain with that one, but okay, there's the pain with it. All right, nothing a little water couldn't fix. All right, let's make our predictions for this weekend. So, these are for conference tournament championships. The first one up is San Diego State and Utah State for the Mountain West title. This is a very important game for a lot of those teams that are right there on the last four in and first four out. Very, very big game here for them, because if Utah State pulls off this upset, that's essentially a bid steal, because Utah State is very much a bubble team right now. And if they win, that would lock them in and take away an at-large bid. So big bid stealing opportunity here for Utah State if they can beat San Diego State. But I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no to this one. San Diego State is going to beat Utah for the Mountain West crown, and Utah State is going to be sweating it out for an entire week. Sweating like I am because of hot sauce. Next up, we have the Ohio Valley Conference. Belmont is the 1 seed. I believe Murray State is the 2. And a lot of people think Belmont is one of those really strong teams that are going to worry a lot of those big conference teams if they win this tournament and go in. Murray State has this habit of having some really fun upsets to watch, though. And I'm going to actually go out on a limb here, and I'm going to pick an upset here. I'm going to pick Murray State to beat Belmont. I don't know if Belmont would become a bubble team or not. I don't know if they're good enough for an at-large. That still remains to be seen. But I'm going to pick an upset. I'm going to take Murray State over Belmont for Ohio Valley. We got Hampton and Winthrop in the Big South semifinals. Hampton pulled off a big upset, knocking off Radford. They're not going to get lucky twice. I'm going to take the Winthrop Eagles for the win and the bid there. So that's the Big South. Here's where the real mess is, and this is where we get into conference tournaments that have their semifinals today and their finals tomorrow. Northern Iowa was the number 1 seed in the Missouri Valley. Loyola of Chicago, the same Loyola team that went on that magical run a few years ago, albeit out of Cincinnati and Virginia's bracket. That region still is one of the most wacky tournament regional path I have ever seen in all my years. But they were the two in the Missouri Valley. Both teams got upset. So we have two semifinals here. Bradford, who was a 4, versus Drake, who upset Northern Iowa. The Indiana State Sycamores are up against Valparaiso, who beat Loyola. I'm going to go chalk on this one. Bradford wins, Indiana State wins, and I'm going to pick Indiana State to win the Missouri Valley tomorrow. I'm not just saying that because their mascot is a really cute blue fox. I promise. All right, and finally, tomorrow we have the Atlantic Sun Final. Lipscomb and Liberty. Liberty's a 1, Lipscomb is a 3. I'm going to take another upset here. I'm going to take the Bisons of Lipscomb. It's just a gut feeling on that one, even though my gut is currently filled with very spicy things. So we'll go with Lipscomb. So for a recap, we're going to take San Diego State, Murray State, Winthrop, Indiana State, and Lipscomb to be the first 5 teams to absolutely 100% lock themselves in. I mean, there are other teams that, they're locks, but, it's not official until they get in. By the way, just sort of something interesting because it's going on as I've been recording. I believe West Virginia pulled off an upset unless Baylor came roaring back. In their game, and with the way Baylor's been playing lately with, the Kansas game, I get, those are definitely the 2 best teams in the Big 12. But they have those losses now against TCU and West Virginia. I'd like to actually see before we sign off how that game finished up. Is there a final? Yes, West Virginia did end up beating Baylor. Now, the latest bracketology, just because I am very curious about something right now, has Kansas is a 1, Baylor is a 1, San Diego State is a 1, and Gonzaga is a 1. The 2 seeds are Seton Hall, Florida State, Louisville, and Dayton. So here's my question. If Dayton wins out and wins their conference tournament, and Baylor loses another game, let's say they lose in the Big 12. If they lose in the finals to Kansas, I don't think that would do anything. Let's say they get to the semifinals of the Big 12 and lose. And teams like Florida State win the regular season crown, and say they get to the finals of the ACC tournament and lose to Duke or Louisville. Or Louisville does the same thing where they go and win the ACC conference tournament, and Dayton wins their conference tournament. Do you drop Baylor to a 2? I think that's a legit question. As it is, I'm going to sign off by turning around our sign. We added $3 more to our charity jar, which means we have 13. I know it's only 13, but it's starting to grow a little bit, which makes me happy. I'm going to be curious to see where it'll be when we start rolling around to August, when we actually go to the convention. Just got to keep picking them right. That's all we got to that. And as I said, we're going to do our big NCAA tournament bracket charity challenge coming up here. So, with that being said, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. I hope your teams do well today, whether they're an at-large team fighting for a bubble spot or a team that's playing in their conference championship game. As of right now, my voice seems to be holding up, so I am pretty confident that I will see you all on Monday. Have a good one, everyone.